I promise you that these are the easiest and tastiest fish cakes you'll ever make. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Worcestershire. It's a little bit dull in the garden today, but at least it's dry and it's not cold. So, as Meatloaf used to say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Right in the centre of the screen you'll see my rosemary bush. It's had a bit of a trim the last couple of weeks, so everything's looking nice and tidy. Anyway, why am I talking about the garden? Let's get ourselves in the kitchen and make these fish cakes. This is a cooking video after all. I just love fish cakes, do you? Fish cakes remind me of my childhood. The ones I used to eat as a kid were dipped in breadcrumbs and dipped in batter, and then they were deep fried, and they were really quite wonderful. However, I'm not a great fan of making those. It seems a very long, drawn-out process. These fish cakes are super easy, super tasty, and there's no deep frying involved at all. So let's have a little look at the ingredients, shall we? We're going to need about a pound of mashed potato, up to 8 ounces of white fish, around 4 ounces of smoked salmon, and the zucchini courgette. It's important I tell you exactly what to do with this. What you need to do is coarsely grate it, and then once you've grated it, sit it in a sieve on a plate, sprinkle it with salt, and then leave it for half an hour to draw all the liquid out of that wonderful vegetable. Once you've done that, squeeze it through with your hands, get all that liquid out, and it's ready for the dish. So we're also going to need 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, a tablespoon of wonderful chives, a couple of heaped tablespoons of finely chopped onion, some flour for sprinkling, and some butter and olive oil for frying, not to forget the ever-present, very important, salt and pepper. Okay then, it's time to get cracking. Can someone pass me the frying pan? So I've got 1 teaspoon of each, olive oil and butter. In goes the cubed white fish, cod, pollock, whiting. Any white fish is perfectly acceptable. We're just going to stir fry that for about 2 minutes, coat it in the butter and olive oil. Once we've done that, I now want to add a couple of tablespoons of water. This is going to steam cook the white fish. Once you've done that, get a tight fitting lid, pop it on low heat for about 5 minutes, and by which time it should be nicely cooked. By all means, just test it if you like with a fork, just to make sure it's cooked through. And once it is, just take the fish out of the pan on some kitchen paper and reserve it to one side while we begin the next stage of this dish. Back in the pan again, another teaspoon of each, olive oil and butter. In goes our finely chopped onion and our well squeezed courgette zucchini. It's worth squeezing that out as much as you possibly can. We're going to cook this for about 6 minutes until it's completely cooked through, and even browning the zucchini adds to the flavour. I'm just going to finely chop my smoked salmon, just to show you exactly how fine. And this is my tea towel that I need to rest my bowl on, kindly sent to me by my dear friend Philly Live. She's a brilliant content creator, YouTuber. She streams regularly, live streams, and she's a bundle of joy, and we all absolutely adore her. I urge you to check her out. Anyway, there's my pretzel tea towel, there's my shiny silver bowl. I'm now going to continue making these fish cakes, in with the wonderful lump-free mashed potato, followed by our courgette zucchini mix and the smoked salmon, some wonderful chopped chives. There goes that cooled white fish, followed by the Dijon mustard. All I'm going to do now is just gently break up those big chunks of fish. I don't want to break them up into smithereens, but I just want to break them up into 2 or 3 pieces each so that they mix better. So I'm using my hands to mix it in, and yes, my hands have been well scrubbed, don't worry. If you're not happy about that, you could always use a fork. Either way, mix it in really well so that your diners get a great experience of all the different ingredients. Once it's mixed in, let's add some salt and pepper. Very important, the old salt and pepper. Give that another little mix in, and it's pretty much ready to get moulded into our shapes. I'm shaping them into a patty shape, and I'm using a 1 cup measure. Each one, obviously, right up to the top, and then turn it out onto your hand and shape it like a burger patty. These are about an inch and a quarter thickness. And if you use a 1 cup measure with these measurements, it will yield about 6 fish cakes in total. And I quite like that shaping process, takes me back to a kid on the beach. And when you've finished shaping them, you've got 6 amazing fish cakes, and they're ready to go in the fridge because we need to firm them up. I'm just going to sprinkle them with a little bit of flour first. So once you've sprinkled each one liberally with a little bit of flour, pop them in the fridge for at least 4 hours, or even the night before, or the day before, or the morning before. Okay, in my frying pan, a bigger frying pan this time, I've got a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and a good tablespoon of butter. Get that sizzling away and carefully put those lovely firmed up fish cakes in the frying pan. And my heat is on a low to medium flame, and I'm going to cook them for about 5 minutes each side. Problem here is, if the flame is too high and you cook them for too long, they will burn. You should be left with a gorgeous golden brown, slightly crispy potato crust. So as I said, 5 minutes each side, low to medium heat, very carefully turn them over, and as you can see, we've achieved a perfect shade of golden brown. Absolutely wonderful. And that's all there is to it. They are that easy, and they are, I promise you, a very impressive dish given the amount of ingredients we've used and given the amount of time concerned. And we didn't have to get the deep fryer out. Wonderful. These are my zucchini courgette smoked salmon fish cakes. I've served mine here with a little bit of lemon mayonnaise, and they're absolutely fabulous. Smashing the like button or even subscribing to the channel is a great way of supporting us. And if you make these fish cakes, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to leave me a comment, and please tell all your friends about Chef Archie Pie and the Food Revolution. I'm going to get stuck in. They look amazing and I'm starving.